Master this CC strategy to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. What the heck is a CC strategy? It's probably not what you think. CC stands in this case for card carrying. It's a strategy I've used for decades to help me stay focused on the positive throughout the different things that happen in our careers, in our businesses, growing and building and supersizing our business. I guarantee every single day something that could make me feel stressed out or anxious or not good enough pops up. And in order to deal with that, one of the things I learned early on as part of my own personal development was this strategy called the card carrying strategy. So I, at this point, have like 30 some of these decks of different cards on different topics. I even switched to, and I grabbed one and I pulled one today that I'm going to use, these little quote books. They're in little tiny book formats, so you can carry the whole book with you if you want. And the one I pulled today is, and that's how we do it, we just randomly pick what feels right for us, and then we carry that physical card with us. I should grab one out of here. Let's go to the vortex. Let's just randomly open it, pull one out. But I would actually carry a card. I would go with whatever deck felt right for me, and then I'd randomly pick a card out of there. I still do this on occasion. I don't do it every day anymore. But this one, you can see you just have a card. It's simple, easy to carry with you every day. It'll fit in a pocket. It'll fit in a briefcase. It'll fit in a purse. It'll fit sitting on your desk by your cup of coffee so that you read it more than once and think about it more than once during the day. This one says, I can find harmony by feeling for improved thoughts. So the whole emotional guidance system, and then there's a paragraph in the back I'm not going to read because I need a magnifying glass, but I will read it later. But so that would be my one for today. And then I picked, I express my emotions in joyous, positive ways. Why? Because we're working on emotional health and well-being this month. So this strategy, I don't even know where I probably learned about it from one of the first decks I bought from Louise Hay. The first deck I remember having came from Louise Hay. She had Hay House before she passed away, and Wayne Dyer, and every sort of woo-woo person you could think of has probably published books with Hay House, and some of the things that they do is they'll take those books and they'll turn them into cards. Power Thoughts by Louise Hay is actually a book that she wrote, and it's quotes from that book, which are really powerful. And sometimes it's easier just to have this on my desk or somewhere to pick from than to actually going and getting my physical decks. I didn't grab all my physical decks because they're heavy. And then I had taken several of those decks and mixed them up in a wooden box so I can just randomly pick randomly. And it's just fun to see what comes up for the day. And then it's even more fun, excuse me, to see how I can apply or how the message that comes up impacts me. For example, I used to be scared to do presentations in corporate America. I usually had to talk to big groups. And like so many others, public speaking did not come naturally for me. And it still doesn't. I have to work myself up, get energized, use Tony Robbins strategies, NLP, to get ready to go and do a presentation, do a speech. And one of the things I started to do was to pull a card, or I would use an affirmation that I would think about throughout the day. And then sometimes I would make my own cards and write them on a card, a little 3x5 card like this, and I would just carry it with me throughout the day. This is actually one from a challenge, the My Thrive Challenge, day 49, as a matter of fact. I don't know why those are there, but I would write it on a 3x5 card, and then before and after my presentation, I would read it. So, for example, I am prepared, confident, and ready for success was one that I would use. I have a lot of them that I use. I have a lot of favorite sayings. I pontificate on them a lot, so I'm sure you've heard many of them. But this strategy has helped me in countless ways to show up the way I want to show up, not just show up and emotionally react and respond to things. I think I've admitted that I'm a very emotional being. And like most humans, we are emotional feeling beings first, and then everything else follows. I used to like to think that I was so rational and so objective and so data driven, yet I would find that I used being that way on purpose to justify my emotions and how I felt and what I believed about things, like most people do. So if you've never done this, I highly recommend and challenge you to try it. I actually use flip books a lot too. And I'll talk about those one of these days. I'll share my flip book tool. I used that following my sudden cardiac arrest when I dropped dead. I needed something to start reminding me. And so whenever I heard something that spoke to me, I would write it down in these little flip books, and I would then review those usually every day as part of my recovery, as part of my cardiac rehab. One of the things I would do is one or maybe a couple of times a day, I would go through my flip book because it was all kinds of messages and thoughts and positive things that I wanted to keep reinforcing in myself. If we do that for ourselves, we can share this strategy with other people. If we know people are stressed out and anxious at work, we can encourage them to get a little Power Thoughts book and pick something every day to help them feel better. Or we can encourage them to get a deck of cards and carry a card with them and reflect and become more self-aware by doing that simple strategy. How does this impact and grow and supersize our business? Well, guess what? The better we are, the better our relationships are, the better, more emotionally intelligent we are, the more grounded and caring and kind we are, the more we want to help the people that we're here to serve and we interact with every day, the more we want to make the world a better place, the more positive we are, the more positive energy we put out into our life, into our business, into the people that we interact with, into the world at large. So some tips and advice about this, which I, have learned over the years, is rotate the decks. Don't, if I were to go through the money, financial, success deck all the time, every day, I would be fixated primarily on finances. And I know that we are multifaceted beings, both are individually and in our businesses. And so we want to mix that up and use a variety of topics and things. We don't want to just stick with one thing. Now, I have in the past, when I'm doing my annual challenges, if I'm on emotional or mental or financial for the month, I would pull a card every day out of the financial deck for the month we're focusing on finance. For mindfulness, and I didn't do it this year, but I have in the past, I'd pull a card every day from this mindfulness deck when we're working on mental health and well-being and share that every day. Why? Because that's how powerful a tool this is. It's so simple. And I am finding the older I get, the more simplification I want, the more streamlined processes I want, the more habits I want that create the life I want automatically. So I challenge you today to either make your own card and carry it with you, or grab a deck, find a deck, go online and get a list of affirmations, print those out, turn those into decks, the ones that speak to you, or whatever works for you. If you need more help or more ideas or more strategies about this, literally done dozens and dozens of different things in this line of thinking. So I'd love to help you if you'd like some help with it. Otherwise, do it. Go out, make it an awesome day. Share in the comments below the impact that it has on you. And you might say, I carried this card all day. I read it 5 times, never found a way to apply it. And that's good information too, because that shows the other side of my experience. And I always want to know that. All right. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.